nào khóc, nào khóc. Rồi lên, lên.
You can do that and very good. Yeah, what is a new one is this. Oh, okay. Is that better?
Anh Phương.
Do you have any requests? Okay. Since the way she's presenting, I'll do arms. So now again, I'm going to use the noodles just for the muscles.
Anh ơi, anh lấy chân đi.
Đúng đặng hay nói thành chân.
It's very cool, but I was extremely surprised that it was so hard for me like to let go. So like kids, they don't feel right. They don't know this feeling at all.
But especially when they're on the table and they don't even have the water. That's what I've been trying to teach you guys is that, you know, is Pika really contracted or is she just so unsupported in her environment that that's what she has to do to go to as a result of her responding to nature. And you guys are neurological adults and you can't just relax, I mean, or let it go or whatever is your word for it.
Yeah, but once it starts, it's very quick. The change is very quick.
Right. But the same thing, if you support them right and touch them right, then the therapy can be that much more effective too, especially with the cerebral palsy and stuff. Look at her goosebumps. She is cool.
As much as you want to be right. You're right. Kick, kick. Kick, kick. Wait, Mom, warm up.
She has goosebumps. Like,
I know. Just breathe. Right over here.
yeah, look at her. Her goosebumps are huge. I can see them from here.
And she's going to be too hot on the feet very soon. Yes, it's hot. Hot, 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 hot. No, no, yes. You know that.
So now here I feel where her shoulder has her contraction.
You couldn't with the mocha.
So I have Hannah left and Netherrack left, right? As far as, and then Stuart, I don't know if he's done it.
Talk about scanning it. Are you ready?
Really?
I'm getting a little chilled just being under the umbrella. So now I'm going to go down. So when I go down, I'm just, because I don't want to wreck her buoyancy,
Down you mean inside the wall?
I'm trying to get where her elbow wants to come down, but at the same time, I don't want her to thunk her.
Related to movement. I don't know, it's just an interesting concept.
Well, it's something that I'm trying to write papers on because I think it shows up first in the irises. So if the iris doesn't get to respond properly, and the iris is only looked at for eye color, but I don't believe it's just for eye color. If you look at all those filaments and the slow-mo that I showed you last time of the eye movement, that all that counterbalance and balance is right there in the eyes. So I find it be interesting that maybe those with CP, let's say, or autism have a lower filament rate. Like if we can do mathematical to look at like the actual buoyancy of the baby, that baby coming to sitting with that eye, because the eye is not round, the iris actually, the cornea bubbles up, sort of like a little bobber in the water. So that's a natural, the human laws of buoyancy. That's why dead men don't float, you know what I mean? But live men do. Why? You know, or so if we look at those as natural to come into sitting versus someone like Pika trying to sit up, you know what I mean? She doesn't know what it's like to have a buoyancy to actually just come up. So if I take, sorry, this Where's the little one? Or here, just this one. You know, buoyancy is if I try to put this underwater, it's going to come up. But at what violence? So that's why, too, with osteoporosis, here you go, sorry. With osteoporosis, when you start changing the webbing of the bones, the floating, just their ability to float changes. Well, is that true for floating, or also how you walk down the hallway? Does it interfere with your balance because you just don't have that common consistency you once did? And if the webbing has gone too much out of the system, like I was just watching someone now that was going for surgery and stuff. She's 60. Oh, what the heck? Well, I'm watching that stupid movie that y'all are watching, but I still like me. What was that documentary again? What the heck or what the
What the hell?
What the health? So, well, this woman's 61 years old. She looks like about 82, and she's got severe osteoporosis. But what it is I think her bones have so much, in a sense, those bubbles or their density's off. It's just taking her down like lead weight, and she doesn't have buoyancy just walking down the hallway. You know, just sort of like having, you know, when you're in love, that little like bubble to your step kind of thing. Those properties, I believe, are in the human body, but if we can check it right away from just eye functions, like maybe the iris and the cornea is more like deflated, so trying to come up against the deflation versus the eye bubbling up like that slinky I did last time, you know, that's where we're at. But same thing in the water. Just because someone has a high or low BMI, we should all be able to float at the same kind of weight. Now I'm getting that shoulder. So here, if I show you what I just did. Sorry, look at that. Sorry, I'll put you in the sun, but I need to get under your shoulder. Sorry. So now I've been working on this side. See the difference?
Oh my gosh.
Can you feel it?
You can see it though. You can just.
So the moment you went to the spine, you were working on the arm,
Right.
the outer body, then you went to the spine for
Right.
including the extension of the spine in the movement.
I'm looking for just that differentiation so I can use the floaters better. In the water, you can play with that where you can't do that on the table. Whereas here, if I haven't worked on this arm, see the difference? See how there's more staccato in her movement? And that's what I try to kick in is the counter.
Do this one again. Just, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Take something back. Just do.
So if I use the spine, let's say to manipulate here, but I'm using the floaters,
Just more movement.
but also the movement's prettier,
Yes.
right? Whereas here, see how it's a bit more staccato?
Right. They're not moving.
And her head has way too much momentum in this. See it? It's more through her head. Whereas here, to see how the head moves, but it's not swishing back and forth. What I talked about, that windshield wiper, she's kind of countering.
Thank you for putting that.
Like how she has such a pretty neck, which is a little pool of water. So now again, I'm
I always
just...
admired those necks when I was a teenager. I want my neck to look like that.
On my pop-up. My pop-up had this turkey neck. My mom's got this neck.
Just look. Stuff.
Even when I was 6, I never had that. Say look. See how Brand always plays with his balance? He's home all day with that ball. It's cool. And always.
What a lucky kid.
How you doing, Brand? You okay?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry.
Now we might have some chocolate milk.
I don't feel thirsty right now.
What?
So I might be hungry for some chocolate.
He likes being around me. He's a mama's boy. There we go. Now, I'm gonna use just a little bit. We're going for that weight transfer, and that's where
Look at her face.
Again, just using the water, the buoys, all that to get her spine to move, her pelvis to do. We don't know. See you next, I think. See you yet, I don't know.
I know. Anita moves a lesson person on the East Coast, you know? Not only in Arizona. I'm watching her do some self-help videos in the pool.
So now I'm just using the bolsters and around her head.
It's great to exercise. It's really good. I guess when I'm at age 35. Just say I'm afraid to x-ray myself to see how my pelvis is doing.
You know how to work it in an x-ray. Okay, I'm gonna send you off whenever you feel like it. Now I'm gonna do hers where I'm gonna sit a little bit.
You just made decide Phoenix is the place. Is that right, Twin? Not yet.
Right now, I'm just getting to know because I decided to sit and see
Oh,
what that
wow.
would do.
I just mean, oh my God.
I probably won't stay in sitting, but I was just seeing for my own curiosity if it was more like the table where I could just lift up underneath. But see, normally under the table, I couldn't get this low on the spine just to do a lift. I might be get C7, you know, but to get underneath, I'd actually have to like shove my hand under. So.
What's that one from the side?
So I'm trying to just do a standard lift like we do on the table. But like normally I would just be underneath her neck. I couldn't do all of this. So I'm actually gonna, I've never done this before where I'm working with her and sitting. Now, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm totally okay. I just have water.
Oh, okay. And so I'm just lifting down through her spine just to see. If anything is heavier or less buoyant. See if one vertebrae is less or more buoyant than the other.
Are you doing one side and then the other? Sometimes
Same both. I'm doing it just like we do on the table with this, on both sides, and going down her spine just to see.
That is cool, because you can get all the way down and up. The nutrient.
My last person's hand, but whoever wants to work on me. You can have a group set.
I'll take your feet, some can be your back.
No, I'm serious.
it's a symphony then, right? You can blend it all.
But I don't think if I wasn't sitting, I don't know if I could lift like this, you know what I mean? Because I would float with her.
Or you can tether yourself almost. With a lot of.
I live with her.
I know you do.
All day. I needed a little bit of color. I was trying to get pretty white.
Tell him you want to shed like sunshine.
Feel me.
Oh, so now I can do this actually. What I'm doing is I'm pulling on the bolster a little bit and spreading into her upper thorax. So again, the water is allowing me to get in for that like a nice spread.
Which way are
You
you
should
pulling
feel
on the
that.
bolster?
So
Can you lift the head taller again so the water doesn't...
don't fall off the steps. Don't I know better now.
Step there now.
Good seat.
Just feel how you can go down as your palm pushes around the bolster. Okay. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Okay.
I really have all these ideas now. I'm really excited.
I only get to do, or I only do this around with the boys if I get them in the water.
So I'm sorry if I missed this, but the
What-
bolster, you're...
What I'm doing is pulling away on the bolster with the
Oh,
top
okay.
part of my hand, and I'm pushing away with my fingers.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, all into it. So now I'm going to use the bolsters and I'm going to come underneath her neck. Now I'm probably going to have to spin her for this and then come back. So that little bit of counter. So now I'm on this side of the spine and rotating her and then rotating.
I'm thinking specifically of my MS patient. What would you think? Same kind of things or nothing specific?
First of all, again, like anybody, you just gotta make sure that they're secure and that kind of thing, but. I'm using she wanted the upper thorax, so I'm working on just that to facilitate just that movement through. There she goes, you can sell with the bolster on like that. So it's sort of like when you get someone off the table and you've only worked on one side, you see the longer gait on the one side. Just look at the difference now, how I can get away with this twist with the noodle here. You know, versus the way it looks here, you know, just,
It's a little warm.
Getting to bring it there.
I'm a mom. I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I would be like,
yeah, you're a
little
mom
warm.
and he's not.
I'm drinking a bottle now.
I'd probably bring him in. Do you want me to bring him in?
Yeah, can someone bring him in, please? I'm sorry. I'm really easy going, so still moving?
Oh, yeah.
How is it going,
Claudia dehydrates, burns her kids, they're all good, but she's, yeah.
They're fine. I have 4. We're all alive.
Yeah.
When she's at my place, sometimes I'm like, don't make your mom speak Mexican.
It's like
That's really good. Thank you.
I'm easygoing.
Yeah, like no worries. I'm just yeah. It's what I meant. No, maybe I say right.
So this lesson, I'm really using the bolsters again to work with.
How everyone's been so different.
I know.
Well, each lesson's been different.
These photos are
She asked for upper thorax, so, but I'm still giving her a new lesson. Can you see more and more though how you really need to use the water as your, you know, counterpart? So now,
I'm like, stop.
you know, I did a little
Under the 5.
And now I'm just walking down her back.
Where's the sunscreen? For a baby or adult? There's all the sunscreen there, and then there's a baby one.
Yeah, put a baby.
Yeah, and I have the Neutrogena 60%. She grease and Weezer? I'm used to it with her. I'm just surprised she doesn't have a glass of something in her hand to go with that vitamin. But
Are you okay in the cold, Michelle? Are you getting hot?
I'm actually fine. I don't know what I'm gonna look like when I'm done.
You look pretty good.
Yeah, you don't look.
You must have some
You were
good,
really
pretty white when you first.
Well, but I put the stuff
Yeah,
in.
I was like, wow.
Well, I knew I was gonna be in here for 3 hours. But everyone's like, wimps, it's hot, it's this. I haven't been in the pool too long, and I'm like, I'm a 52-year-old.
You're moving though, and cool. Like you know what I mean.
But see, if you wanted to too, like I said, like if I was taking this out for a whole lesson and stuff, with, you know, I'd start coming out here and working her back from here.
How often do you do lessons in class?
I just started doing it.
Just watching.
The pool's in the apartment's open and stuff. But we need to get home and schlep to my mother's house. I should love my children more, but. Oh. Actually, we're busy at the moment. Again, the bolster, I'm twisting it in. Okie dokie.